Welcome back to Woodstock Guitar Guy. We still got a lot of guitars to go through here. It's going to take me a long time to get through everything here. And of course, more stuff keeps coming, as we go. So let's just, let's just keep plugging away at it, as they say, plucking away, picking away. We're here to talk about this particular guitar, which it looks like a little sister by a company called B&G, but it's not. It is a copy of a little sister by Firefly, and they built these, I would have to say, about 3 years ago now. They had a line, the LS line, and they had a single cutaway version, which is this. They had a no cutaway version, which I don't have. And if you'll notice, they're really thin, which is they're the same, basically the same thickness as a Les Paul. I was very attracted to this when they put it up on the Firefly Guitar Garden website, whatever it is. We'll put a link to it down below. And it just seemed to check all the boxes for me. It very light. It's got F holes, mostly hollow. There's a block in the center. It had P90s, which we'll talk about again. It had I believe it has stainless steel frets, and it's got this tailpiece, which I really kind of like. Not this particular tailpiece. It had a different tailpiece. I will say this about the guitar that came from Firefly. It was passable, but I didn't really buy it for the pickups and for their hardware. I bought it for the body and the neck. And I've basically replaced everything on this guitar. And I'm very happy with it. This is one of my my favorites in the bunch. And it just, I can play it acoustically. It's got a nice little acoustic sound going on. And then when I plug it in, it rocks, and it's light as a feather. Well, not really a feather, but it's very light, and very well built. Now, we'll start up here let's start at the headstock. There are some issues, or there were some issues with this guitar when I got it. And the first set of issues were the fact that I'm not a big fan of this open headstock design. It just doesn't, it's nice on classical guitars. I need something very solid, when you start, bending the notes. You want something that's going to be really locked in. And I was not happy with the tuners that came with the guitar, so I took them off. I replaced them with a set of tuners from probably China. They were junk. I took them off. I replaced them with another set of tuners, paid a little more money. They were junk. This is the fourth set of tuners, actually, that I've put on this guitar. And they seem to be holding pretty good. I'm not overly thrilled with them. I don't like the fake pearl on the ends. It kind of they're mushy. What can I say? They're not like a Grover. They're just mushy. There's something mushy about them, but they hold the guitar relatively in tune, which is, that's all I ask, is that they hold the guitar in tune. It came with, I believe it's a plastic nut, which is still there. I have not replaced it with a bone nut. But it does have a nice rosewood fretboard. Neck is great, frets are great. It's not super fat, chunky. Fireflies, I've had mixed results, and we'll talk about more. I've got a bunch of them here, or a few of them. I've sold a few too. You know, they're sort of hit or miss for me, and sometimes they hit it right out of the park, like the baritone, which we'll bring on another episode, and or the 12-string 335, which is beautiful guitar. I mean, just and not expensive. Did I say that they're a budget guitar? They are. They are extremely budget, and you got a lot of money left over to upgrade pickups, tuners. I upgraded the bridge, put a whole new, better bridge on here, probably Geiger. Replaced the tailpiece, something I found on eBay, I think, and replaced the wiring. And this was the kind of the icing on the cake, which is these are Earl Slick P90s, and they I had them in another guitar, and I just kind of like said to myself, well, I bet they would sound really great in this guitar, the LS. And sure enough, they did. And I was really glad that I swapped them out. They're really very, very cool. You heard them coming in. You're going to hear them going out. And we started out. We did the clean coming in, and we're going to do the overdriven going out. And while we're at it, I'm going to just mention too that I'm starting to learn a little bit more about my looper. I have a Boss looper. I think it's called a 1 or something. It's a very R1. It's a very simple looper pedal. It took me forever to figure it out, but I'm starting to get a little bit more confident with it, and you'll hear it as we go out. That it's got, I was able to add a bass line to a guitar track from last week. And you know, forget it. I'm gonna go crazy now now that I can start layering different instruments. You know, it's gonna be a lot of fun. The LS is not in production right now. I haven't seen them. They have something called an HB, which I bought. I didn't like it, and I got rid of it. It just didn't have the same feel that this has. It felt like thicker layers of poly, and just felt a little bit not quite what I wanted. Plus, it didn't have the cutaway. The HB that I picked up didn't have the cutaway, which I really do like. I like having a cutaway. There's something about hitting the guitar when you come up the neck and go bonk, because there's the body starting right here, you know. And so if you want to find one of these, I guess my best suggestion would be to just keep scouring, you know, like Reverb or something like that. Some site that you can actually do a search for used guitars. This one I'm hanging on to. I will not be letting this one out of my sight. I really, really like it, and they did a beautiful job. And look how dark this is on the back. It's a mahogany body, and it's got this like flame kind of top, which if you can, oh God, I'm on my wires here. There we are. You can see this flame top. Now, I don't know if this is a photograph. You know, there's some talk that they take pictures of like really great wood grains and put them on the tops of guitars and then finish over them. I don't know that that's the case with this. I'm thinking not. But who knows? I mean, it's a crazy world out there. I'm learning too that there are only just so many family companies in China that build these guitars for Firefly and for export, the Gibsons and all of that sort of thing. It looks like there's like maybe 3 or 4 really good companies that build this stuff. So if you see something on Firefly that you like, there's a good chance that it was well made, for one thing. There's also a good chance that the price is right. And there's also a good chance it might show up somewhere else under a different name. These have not, and I don't know why. I'm not quite sure why. Set neck, medium jumbo frets, very, very well built guitar. I just got to say my only hang up with this particular instrument is this headstock. I don't like, it just, everything else has got tuning pegs, and this has got, the old classical guitar tuners, and it's just different. So, but I'm trying to get used to it. We'll come on with another Firefly pretty soon. But I just wanted to give them a shout out here because they've got some really cool stuff. They're a funny company. I can't quite figure out what their business plan is, but they put out some very interesting instruments, and many of them are copies of traditional, but then they've got other stuff too, and they seem to sell out pretty quickly. They have a huge following. I think there may be some people around who are buying quantities of these things and then dripping them out on Reverb or something for a big markup. But and I will say that this about shipping and the tariffs. It does appear that the tariff thing is a mess. And it does appear that shipping costs have gone up. I went on, for example, Harley Benton's U.S. store on Reverb last week, looking around, just seeing what was going on there. And their prices have jumped quite a bit since the tariff thing happened. And I would not be surprised if everybody doing the guitar import is going to raise their rates. So, my advice is don't worry about it. If you really like the instrument, just go for it and pay a little bit extra. But if not, there's always a big used market here locally in the country, obviously. Reverb and Guitar Center and all these places. There are tons of used instruments around. And if you can track them down, they're there, and you don't have to worry about the tariffs. Somebody has traded in something cool for something else, and there it is, there it sits. There's a few used instruments I'm interested in. I keep an eye out for, but the LS, the original B&G LS, is about I believe it's a $2,500 guitar, maybe $2,000. Don't quote me, but it's way up there. It's a very, very expensive guitar. This was $200 plus I think $27 for shipping. Now their rates have gone up, but we're still probably under $300 for something like this, which is it's a bargain. It's a huge bargain. It's a steal. So. Thank you for tuning in. Join up here. Like it if you like it. Hit the like if you like it. And leave a comment one way or another. Ask me a question. If you got one of these, tell me what you think about it, if you really dig it. Subscribe and join and all of that stuff. Because the plan is I'm going to try to, I've got a lot of guitars here. I want to try to go through them meticulously, talk about them. This one happens to be one of my favorites, and if they ever bring them back at Firefly, I highly recommend you jump on it, and especially with the cutaway. Don't worry about the pickups and all the hard, that stuff that was fun. I had a lot of fun replacing it. It was really interesting and exciting, and to put the Earl Slicks in here, it was a really, that was cool. So with that, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Michael Veitch, Woodstock guitar guy, Woodstock, New York. Come see Woodstock. We're a big tourist town now, so come on down. We'll take care of you. See you later, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.